Well, now we go to something I know a lot about. Anybody who's watched the show has probably heard me talk lots about Masters of the Universe. Probably curious on why I haven't done an actual Masters of the Universe toy review. Because if I did, it would probably be 2 episodes at least. Probably 3, because I would have to bring in every single piece of my collection.
We'll save that for the winter break whenever there's no shows on in the winter.
What you may want to do is we may actually want to shoot at my house.
That's
and I'm
fine.
not kidding, because I have 3 shelves full of Master. I have 3 versions. I have the classic vintage shelf. I have the 2000X shelf, and of course Mattel Collector. I did do a review of Mattel Collector Master Universe Classic figures, and I have a special shelf for those. But this is what started it all. Mm-hmm. And this
actually, the toys started it all.
The toys started it all, which came out in about 1982. They came with little mini comics and stuff like that.
They were hot off the trail of Conan the Barbarian, trying to make it more kid friendly, and
they went to Lou Schreiber of Filmation, and they pitched this idea to him, and he wanted to do it, but they would only let him do it if they would tell a moral, like if the story had some type of a moral lesson to it. So at the end of every episode, before the end credits, you got He-Man or one of the characters coming out. In today's story, Orko learned that chores is important in life.
Which was very much like the old G.I. Joe.
But this
now
is where
you know,
started.
when knowing is all.
This is where it started, though. Yeah. So this lasted for 130 episodes. It was 2 seasons. They did like 65 episodes or something like that.
Which is something unheard of today by today's standards. You're lucky if you get like 12 episodes.
The toy line was insanely popular. It's probably to this day still the most popular toy line in history. But it garnered a sequel TV series called The New Adventures of He-Man. This series ended just after they had a movie. An animated movie called He-Man and She-Ra, Secret of the Sword, which introduced He-Man's twin sister, who was kidnapped by the evil Hordak. He met her. She became She-Ra of Etheria.
Princess of Power.
Princess of Power. So, and then...
And they also did the Christmas special, which
the Christmas special was
my brother-in-law just gave my wife for...
I watch it every year. I have an entire series.
I remember... We used to live.
Sit down and watch it for the first time on TV.
So do I.
It only aired on TV, I believe, actually one time.
Yeah.
Before
it was actually a primetime special.
Yeah, it was on at night on Christmas.
Yeah.
But this series spawned so many different figures. It spawned She-Ra, Princess of Power. Then it spawned the sequel, what was supposed to be considered the sequel series to this, but because of Filmation rights and everything, they couldn't use some of the characters and the way they look. But there was the New Adventures of He-Man, which is kind of underrated in a way to me, especially towards the end of the series. It got really good.
I thought the figures were cool.
The figures were really
They
cool.
were very articulate. I didn't like the way they were portrayed in the show.
Skeletor was less of the bumbling fool, though, and more of the more of a villain. What threw a lot of people off is he actually had pupils in this version. But I mentioned that because that would kind of give way to the next series after that, which is considered by fans the 2000X Master Universe, which I believe actually came out in like 2000.
No, 20X.
2002, 2000. I think it came out like 2001, 2002, something like that. It aired on Cartoon Network in various spots, which is one of the things that led to it being canceled. That, and of course, it had to have action figures, which, again, the action figures themselves also led to the cancellation. Not because the figures were bad figures. They were redesigned by the Four Horsemen, and they looked amazing, but they would package, and here's some of them. Well, no, that's not one of them. That is a 2000X character, which is part of that figure.
Which I have Cyclone from the 20X series.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I might want to buy him from you.
He's not for sale, man.
I don't have him. That figure he just showed you was from the 2000X series, but part of the Mattel Collector Master Universe Classics figures. But the stores, the company would package like 4 He-Man, 4 Skeletor, or like 9 He-Man and Skeletor variant figures, and like 1 Evil Lyn. You know, so not everybody can get an Evil Lyn. Not everybody could get Fisto or Orko or Many Faces. So the figures were really hard to find, and the stores were stocked with a bunch of He-Man and Skeletor figures nobody wanted. And that was pretty much what led to that and the random constant change of the time slots on Cartoon Network led to the series cancellation. Now,
and they also said that if it would have went into another season, they were going to introduce She-Ra.
They were going to introduce She-Ra. Man in Arms was actually going to be coming
Do you still have it?
I do.
Yes.
She-Ra, actually have a 2000X action figure in the store. This was a San Diego Comic-Con Wizard World exclusive. Show the
Here,
back.
let me- yeah,
The blue-
let me
no, do the
take-
back.
Hang on a minute.
I think I can actually see her better on the back. And what's cool about that figure is she has the Barbie hair, just like the vintage figure does. So,
And it is available here at Geeking Out
yes,
Comics
it is. And that, like I
for
said, that was a Wizard World exclusive.
$50.
Now let me tell you a little about the show. The show was a revamp of the Filmation. Now, the Filmation were all standalone episodes. There was nothing episodic about it. You can watch them in any order. This series, however, there was Dora, another Magic Collector figure. She was more based on the Filmation appearance. This series here was a complete revamp. And what we got is we got the origin of He-Man. And we also got the origin of Skeletor, where we did find out, confirmed, it was hinted at in the mini-comic, it was confirmed in the show that Skeletor is Keldor, Randor's brother.
And He-Man's mom, I don't know if it said in the
I don't remember if they hinted here.
but in the original, she was from Earth. She was an astronaut from Earth,
Yeah,
which it confirmed in the Christmas special.
yeah. Well, there was a few episodes in Filmation that was hinted at, too. But actually, there was a whole episode where you'd see her origin.
Yeah,
Of her coming to Eternia. Now the Four Horsemen did a complete redesign. We have Skeletor with the cape. His eyes glowed red when he was mad, which was really cool. Beastman got a retool. Merman, all the characters got a retool. He-Man, and they all looked really cool. You can still tell who each character was. But this show is popular for two big things. One, it introduced the Snake Men, which we never got in this series, just in the comic books. And two, you remember an action figure called Stinkor? Well, he was originally supposed to be introduced in the cartoon Filmation series, but they said, well, nobody's going to really, it's kind of hard to write a story about a guy who stinks. Filmation took that, and not only brought in Stinkor into the He-Man animated universe, but gave him a complete backstory. In fact, you actually see him very early on in the series, and then later on, you see him again in jail, and that's where his origin kind of begins, becomes Stinkor. Very funny character. Originally was supposed to be for the Horde, but ends up working for Skeletor in the series. I'm a huge fan of this one. Love this one, grew up with this one. But this is the Master Universe.
This is the
cartoon.
best incarnation.
This is the best incarnation.
And it would have done a hell of a lot better if. See, this is where Cartoon Network screws up a lot of shows.
A lot of the Thundercats.
Moving the time slot.
Green Lantern, Young Justice.
Yeah.
So many great cartoons.
I think this should be the next series that Netflix tries to bring back.
I think so.
This incarnation.
Because like I said,
continuing.
Like I said, they introduced the Snake Man, and they do this. The Snake Man has this thing where they can turn you into a Snake Man. But when you're a Snake Man, you're permanent. Well, that was going to happen to Man at Arms, and he was going to end up making weapons for the Snake Man. So they were going to introduce Clam Champ, who in the story in the Master Universe lore took Man at Arms' spot. So we were also in the third season we got a glimpse of the Horde in second season, part of third season I think. But in a full third season we were going to get the Horde. We were going to get She-Ra. So, but Master Universe is so big it even spawned the live-action Dolph Lundgren Master of the Universe movie.
And there's been talk for years that they were going to do a new movie.
They've been trying. They supposedly
just like with Voltron.
They're supposedly starting casting He-Man now, but He-Man's been casted so many times. Directors have come and gone. I'm not sure where we're going to get a Master Universe. If they do, I'm really afraid they're going to screw this.
If they do a Master of the Universe movie, yeah, do. If they do a Master of the Universe movie, do not go the route of the Dolph Lundgren movie. Do not bring it to Earth.
No,
Stay on Eternia.
Yeah, that was a finance thing, though.
Yeah.
Not to mention Orion. So.
And the
Master
little
Universe,
synthesizer thing.
Literally, quite possibly the most popular cartoon to ever come out of the 80s. Still to this day, very popular.
And moving on now.